Great show. We had a lot of fans. I appreciate all the love and support. I fought hard. I try to make history. I try to move up in weight, and I thought I was gonna be able to pull it off, and unfortunately it wasn't my way. I gotta give credit to Errol. He had a great game plan. He used that jab, that distance. He knew how to control that very well. A few moments that I tried to make adjustments, he had something in.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Boxing Facts or Fiction. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. Mikey Garcia recently had a fight with Errol Spence Jr. It was a completely one-sided fight. It was a one-sided domination by Errol Spence Jr. Mikey Garcia was somehow able to survive all 12 rounds. I have no idea how he was able to do that, but he did it. But in defeat, Mikey Garcia was very respectful. He gave Errol Spence Jr. all the credit in the world. And Mikey Garcia was asked, what's next? Will he go back down to 135 and challenge the likes of Vasyl Lomachenko? Or will he stay at 147 and challenge guys like Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, and Keith Thurman? In my opinion, I think it'll be difficult for Mikey Garcia to go back down to 135. And Vasyl Lomachenko is looked at as pound for pound the number 1 or number 2 fighter in the world. Even though he doesn't have a lot of fights, but he's still looked at as the best. Can the number 5 pound for pound fighter Mikey Garcia beat the number 1 or number 2 fighter Vasyl Lomachenko? I highly doubt it. He couldn't beat the number 6 Errol Spence Jr. But weight classes are there for a reason. Mikey Garcia may have the advantage on the size, but in my opinion, I would like to see Mikey Garcia stay at 147, challenge guys like Danny Garcia. I think he has a really good chance in being a guy like Danny Garcia, or Shawn Porter, who I also believe he has a really great chance of being Shawn Porter.
Great boxing. I tried to do everything I could to make my adjustments, but just couldn't get it off. But I'm still very, very happy with the performance. I tried my best, and we worked hard for this. I really wanted to win it, and it just feel a little bummed out that I couldn't pull it off. But overall, it was a great experience, great show. Errol Spence is a terrific champion.
Mikey Garcia said Errol Spence is a terrific champion. He did all he could, but he just couldn't pull it off. He gives a lot of credit to Errol Spence Jr. In my opinion, I think the number 1 guy at welterweight is Terrence Crawford. I think Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence Jr. if they fight right now. This is why this fight is taking forever to make, because they want Errol Spence Jr. to have the advantage when the fight does happen.
Very strong. And I'm just very happy that we were able to put this fight together. This is what boxing needs. Two of the best pound-for-pound fighters fighting each other. And that doesn't come often. It doesn't happen often. So I was very happy that we could put this together. I'm sure all the fans, were watching and excitement, and all the people watching on pay-per-view. I'm sure they all also got a good treat from it, because it's not often that we get these type of fights, and I think we succeeded at that. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming out. Anything else, we'll see what happens after this. But I thought it was a good show. Thank you.
You want to have a seat so the people can ask you questions or ask Errol questions? Go ahead, yes, please.
Mikey, this is Jaime with All Access Elite Boxing. My question to you is, you took this fight to win 5 titles in 5 different divisions. You went and aimed straight at the best fighter, pound for pound, at 147. Do you foresee yourself in the future potentially fighting a Thurman, a Pacquiao, or even a Crawford, or even a Porter for that matter, in hopes of achieving your dream?
Well, I'll go back right now, talk to my dad, my brother, and make a decision right now.
The reporter asked Mikey Garcia, You took the chance to go and fight the best guy at welterweight. You came up short. What is next for you? Mikey Garcia said, I don't have a decision right now. I have to go back to the drawing board, talk to my brother, talk to my team. And I agree with Mikey Garcia. I think he needs to make the best decision of his career. What's best for his career. I don't think going back down in weight is best for his career. Mikey Garcia looked really good at welterweight. Not against Errol Spence, but I'm just saying he looked good at welterweight. Though he was able to survive 12 rounds onslaught against Errol Spence Jr. So if he's able to do that against a guy like Errol Spence Jr., when a lot of welterweights can't even go past 9 rounds with Errol Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia can hang in there with a lot of top welterweights and give those guys a lot of problems. So I like to see Mikey Garcia still hang around welterweight division and try to go for his 5th title. His 5th division world title. I would love to see Mikey Garcia hang around at 147 and chase some of the weak champions. If there are any weak champions, he should go after Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter didn't look good in his last performance. Mikey Garcia should go after Shawn Porter. That's a great fight. Shawn Porter versus Mikey Garcia is a fight I would love to see. Mikey Garcia versus Keith Thurman. That's a fight I would love to see as well. Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia. That's a fight I would love to see. But if he wanted a world title, the weakest champion right now, in my opinion, would be Shawn Porter. And in my opinion, I think Mikey Garcia can pull off the upset if he's not the favorite against Shawn Porter. I think Mikey Garcia can get Shawn Porter. You know, if he makes Shawn Porter miss all those wild shots, he can win a decision against Shawn Porter. Errol Spence couldn't knock out Mikey Garcia. Shawn Porter isn't knocking out Mikey Garcia. So it's going to go to the decision. The fight will go to decision against Shawn Porter. He'll go to decision against Shawn Porter. Decision against Keith Thurman. Even though I think Keith Thurman may pull off the win. Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford, and Errol Spence. 3 guys I see beating Mikey Garcia. But I think Mikey Garcia can get Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia. Those are the only 2 guys I see Mikey Garcia beating. A Shawn Porter or Danny Garcia. I think it will be a close fight with Keith Thurman, but I think Keith Thurman may edge it out. But Mikey Garcia can't beat Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford already beat him up in the amateurs, convincingly in the amateurs. And Terrence Crawford is considered number 1 pound for pound. He couldn't beat the number 6, but he'll beat the number 1. I don't see it happening, guys. Let's stick to reality. Let's stick to the facts. Mikey Garcia has no chance of beating Terrence Crawford. In fact, I think Terrence Crawford could stop Mikey Garcia because Terrence Crawford's a counterpuncher. Mikey Garcia is going to leave himself open and he's going to get caught. I think Terrence Crawford could stop Mikey Garcia. Even though Errol Spence couldn't do it, I honestly think Mikey Garcia would take more chances against Terrence Crawford. That's why he could get stopped. But like I said, I myself do not want to see Mikey Garcia go down in weight to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. I think that's a lose-lose situation. Versus Errol Spence, this is a win-win situation. Versus Vasyl Lomachenko, that's a lose-lose situation. Because Vasyl Lomachenko, almost everybody knows Vasyl Lomachenko will beat him. And then, like I said, almost everybody knows Vasyl Lomachenko will beat Mikey Garcia because he's too active. He moves too much. He's going to win a decision. He's not knocking Mikey Garcia out. We know that. So that's a lose-lose situation. He's going to lose to Vasyl Lomachenko. And he's probably not going to get a big payday from that fight. So it's a lose-lose situation, in my opinion. So he should stay at welterweight and fight the big dogs and possibly pull pull another title from welterweight division against a guy like Shawn Porter and remain relevant in the welterweight division, because going back down in weight would be very difficult for Mikey Garcia to do. But I appreciate the fact that Mikey Garcia was very humble in defeat to Errol Spence Jr. But like I said, I want to see him stay at welterweight.
I feel that there are other names that I could possibly get a title from, and I could still pull it off. But it wasn't possible tonight. We fought the best welterweight, the baddest man in that division, and we just couldn't pull it off. But we'll go back and see what options we have. I could stay at a lower weight class maybe, or maybe stay there and go after a different title.
Mikey, antes que nada, felicidades por el corazón enorme, no solamente tú, sino de toda tu familia.
About the fight itself, I showed a lot of heart, and a lot of people now respect me a lot more for the way I fought, and for going up against the best. And honestly, like I said, I tried, I fought well, I fought hard. At one point, my brother mentioned, maybe it's time to call it a night, or he doesn't want to get me, see me get hurt, and my dad also. But I wasn't hurt at any point like that. I got hit a couple. Said no. Let me continue. Let me fight through. I can still pull it off. I felt like I probably still could. I felt like I could have one punch and maybe turn it around. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way. And then to the question about Lomachenko, I would love a fight with Lomachenko, but I haven't made a decision to come down to 135 just yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let me sit back with my brother later and my dad, and we'll figure out what division I'm gonna come down. And if maybe I stay at 47, maybe I come down to 35. But at 35, that is the most.
Man, I was loving this press conference. I was loving the post-fight press conference. Everybody was asking the questions I would like to ask Mikey Garcia. Will he go back down to fight Vasily Lomachenko? Or will he stay at 147 and compete with the champions? He said, I know going back down to fight Lomachenko is the fight a lot of people want. That's the fight that makes sense. But I could probably still compete at 147. That's what we like to hear. In my opinion, I want Mikey Garcia to stay at 147, man. It makes sense. I want Mikey Garcia to stay at 147. Vacate that WBC belt. Let those little guys handle that. Mikey Garcia's a little guy, but he can compete with these guys at 147, man. He went in there with the baddest man on the planet. Almost the baddest man on the planet. He's considered a boogeyman. And Mikey Garcia went in there, and he didn't get knocked out. So he can compete with these guys. I would love to see Mikey Garcia versus one of these top welterweights. Mikey Garcia is all class, professionalism. He went in there. In my opinion, he didn't do nothing. Got his ass beat, but he made it to the 12th round. And he's humble in defeat. So, Mikey Garcia, a lot of fans would love to see him again. I'm one of those fans would love to see Mikey Garcia again against one of those welterweights.
And this question is for Mikey. Were you surprised by Spence's power?
Look, he's got power. He does have power. I felt like I was blocking a lot of the shots early on, and I was trying to give him trouble by not landing shots. But then he started picking up the pace a lot more, and it was hard for me to keep up that defense. So shots started coming through like that. But he does have power. I felt good though. I felt strong also. I felt like I could also hurt him possibly, but it just wasn't there. He was slick and he avoided getting hit. And by the time I would try to come back, he had more punches on top, and it was a good fight. He put up a very good fight.
Errol, I remember you told me in our interview that you are going to surprise people because you do box. You are a well-rounded fighter. He could actually have the angles. He had ring IQ. He was not just a brawler, he was also a boxer.
No, I wasn't surprised. I know he has all the skills. Like I said before, he reminds me of myself a lot, because he does everything very well. Very good footwork, good speed, distance, timing, he does it very well. And he had an answer to every adjustment that I try to do. When I try to put a little bit of pressure and walk forward, he took baby steps back, kept that distance, kept that jab out there, and it was working for him, Forward, he didn't get too close, he's very good. He reminds me of me, and he pulled off a great game plan, and he had answers for everything that I tried to do. It just wasn't, it's not that I was surprised. I knew he was going to be able to do this, and he pulled it off very well.
There you have it, guys. Mikey Garcia, humble in defeat. I gotta give credit to Mikey Garcia for being humble. A lot of people will have a lot of excuses. Mikey Garcia, not one of those guys. He didn't have excuses. He was honest. Robert Garcia was honest. I respect that. I respect their professionalism. And with that being said, I would like to see Mikey Garcia stay at 147 and duck that Lomachenko fight. Like I said, I would like to see Mikey Garcia stay at 147 and duck that Lomachenko fight. And I'm not one of those guys that want to see a guy duck a fight. But I know that's a lose-lose situation for Mikey Garcia. But if for some odd reason he wants to go back down to 135 and fights Lomachenko, hats off to him. He's fighting two tough fights back-to-back. But I don't see him winning that fight. But guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more videos like this.